Hello and welcome to Chin Hairs and F-Bombs, Conversations with Girlfriends. I'm your gal pal Sal, and today my guest is, me. So I guess I'm going to be my girlfriend today. I normally have a friend on this podcast, but I'm doing something different today. I've been having this conversation with a dear friend of mine about alcohol, and she's struggling right now with her alcohol intake, how much she's drinking, why she's drinking, how she wants to stop. And I get it. I've been there. So I've been having a conversation with her around how I cut back on alcohol. And I decided I wanted to share that with you too. So buckle up, come along for a ride with me because it's just you and me today. I'm going to talk to you about why and how I cut back on my drinking. Oh, you know what? Hi. Some of you might not know me. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. That makes a ton of sense. I am SallyAnn Gray. I am a Midwesterner at heart, and I live in Portland, Maine. I've been in Portland for almost 11 years now and call it home. It feels like home. I live here with my wonderful partner and my two wacky children. And I am a writer. This podcast was born out of wonderful coffees and lunches with girlfriends and phone conversations and just sitting down one-on-one with a dear friend and not really having a plan for what we were going to talk about, and then just letting it unfold and letting our hearts speak. And that connection has healed me so much in the last couple years. My friendships have taken on this beautiful life of their own, and it has really healed me. And some of the conversations that we have, I just know that it would resonate with other people, and wanted to share our lived experiences and our opinions, and want you to feel connected just like I do. So that is Chin Hairs and F-Bombs. So, my relationship with alcohol. I mean, frankly, my relationship with alcohol started when I was a kid. And by that, I don't mean that I started drinking when I was 5. What I do mean is that I grew up living with an alcoholic stepdad. And I also have the good fortune, sarcasm, of sharing genetics with an alcoholic bio dad. So I had a front row seat to watching how alcohol impacts families and relationships. I saw it blow up so many family trips and boring Tuesday nights and everything in between. I saw it ruin trust, and, I thought, that's never going to happen to me. I know better. So in college and when I was in my 20s, I drank socially. Didn't we all? That was how we spent time with friends, at parties, events, weddings, after work. No big deal. It was what we do. And in my 30s, I became a mom. And goddamn, is that a hard job. So I learned how to like coffee and wine, because gotta survive somehow, right? And then in my late 30s, I struggled mightily with my lifelong silent companion, depression. And I fell into a deep darkness. While I was trying to parent 2 small, wild children, I was trying to work for myself, and I was trying to stay married. And when the pandemic hit, I just felt like I couldn't catch a break. My husband and I were both working full time. The pandemic brought all of us home. So we were stuck in the same house together with 2 children who were learning in a foreign language that we did not speak. My children are in a Spanish immersion program. And so my husband and I were both trying to be good workers and employees while also trying to coerce our children into learning. They were at different levels and different grades. Oh my God, it was my literal nightmare. And we were so isolated. Ugh. And looking back, that's when my casual relationship with wine, casual-ish, turned into quantity over quality, and I graduated to boxed wine. I convinced myself that my drinking wasn't that bad because many nights I would have no drinks or just 1 drink, and that means I don't have to drink. So I'm in the clear, right? And during those hard days and long nights, drinking felt like a temporary reprieve from real life, a temporary vacation. During a time when reality felt like it was always set to expert mode, and I didn't have the cheat codes. So having a drink or 2 or 3 felt like a pressure release, and it was the most stressful and anxious time of my entire life. So what that looked like, what that turned into, was on the weekdays, school nights, I would usually have 1 drink while making dinner because cooking dinner sucks. You know, I have 2 small children, one of which is, oh my God, so hard to feed. And so I would have a drink to survive cooking dinner. And sometimes that drink while cooking would turn into another drink with dinner. And then on Thursday nights, I might even have an extra drink because it's almost the weekend and I deserve it, right? And then on Friday and Saturday nights, you know, it's a freaking weekend, man. And I would have a few drinks. And that would mean 3 or more at home. Or if I was with friends, more than 3. And sometimes way more than 3. And on Sunday, I would probably not even drink at all. Not because I was the embodiment of moderation, but probably because I had drank too much the night before. And after heavy drinking nights, honestly, my shame hangover would eclipse my regular hangover. And my memory was just riddled with blank spots, leaving me to wonder if I had said or done something I shouldn't have. So I wasn't drinking during the day, some nights not drinking at all. But when you add that all up, like in the light of day, on the low side, I was drinking 10 drinks a week. And on the high side, I was drinking 19 or more drinks a week, while still being able to say I didn't drink every day. And what it took for me to reevaluate this and look at it with clear eyes was a particularly embarrassing night. And I made a friend deeply uncomfortable with a joke I took way too far, which was a thing I didn't even remember in the morning and was informed of the next day over a very awkward phone call. And I was like a detective in my own life, you know, like forensic evidence, trying to put together the pieces of memory I had from the night before. And I was just so ashamed. And it became clear I couldn't continue on that path. So when I was growing up, I thought someone with a drinking problem was someone who had to drink every day. And then I got older, was around more people, had more life experience, and I learned the term problem drinker. And I was like, okay, okay, I get that. Like, it made me think of friends who I wouldn't call alcoholics, but I had definitely watched them binge drink and get into bad situations. But my wake up call, the phrasing that really made me stop, was when I heard it said, it's not how much you drink, it's why you drink. Uh-oh. Busted. So I took a hard look at why I was drinking. And there were the social reasons, to celebrate with friends, pop some bubbles, to commiserate with friends, fuck this shit, to have fun with friends and let go. And definitely in party situations, I have social anxiety. I get really uncomfortable and nervous. And it felt impossible to talk to someone in a social setting without a drink in my hand. And I also told myself that I'm more fun when I've had a few, and that I'm funniest when I'm in my cups. There were darker reasons too. Things that made me want to drink was feeling overwhelmed by life, when I felt like I couldn't deal anymore. And that was often. And I would tell myself I deserved a drink because life was hard. Everything sucks. I deserve a drink. So, taking a look at why I drank and embarrassing myself and nearly ruining a relationship, I knew it was something I wanted to change, and I also didn't know how. I didn't have good models of this at all. I had a psychiatrist who would tell me that I should stop drinking because drinking is a depressant, a thing that I already know. But he wasn't helpful in how I should stop drinking. And frankly, the why he gave me for stopping drinking wasn't compelling enough. I knew alcohol is a depressant. I was already depressed. I kind of felt like, so what? I'm already here. If I have to be depressed, at least let me enjoy it. Don't take away something that makes me feel better, temporarily. And I have a bit of obstinance in me, for sure. And I was just kind of like, nope, I'm not going to quit drinking. You don't get to tell me what to do. And then I got a different psychiatrist. And instead of telling me I should stop drinking all the way, with no guidance on how or good enough reasoning for why, she shared data with me about drinking. And it came from the Canadian government, who has a different view on drinking, and the World Health Organization. And based on that research, which I'm going to link to in the show notes, my favorite line from the World Health Organization is, "No amount of alcohol is safe." Yikes. There goes that idea, one glass of red wine is healthy for you. So my psychiatrist, based on that research and her professional experience, she recommends to her female patients struggling with depression to drink 3 or fewer alcoholic drinks per week. And I sat with that information, and I really, really liked that she wasn't saying I needed to quit drinking altogether, because drinking was such a social activity for me. It just seemed impossible to quit all the way. And limiting myself to 3 drinks a week sounded realistic and livable. And so I sat with this information and this guideline, and I decided that getting out of my 5-year depression was more important to me than drinking. That was an easy decision. I was miserable. I was trying so many different things. If you've listened to these podcasts, you know all the things that I've done to try to get it out of my depression. Talk therapy, EMDR, internal family systems. Like, I'll try anything. I was miserable. So cutting down on my drinking, sure. Everything else wasn't working. And so in January of 2023, I committed to sticking to 3 or fewer drinks per week. And frankly, it was not easy at first. It was such a big shift from what I had been doing, how I had been operating. So to keep myself accountable, I had to make a Google sheet to track every drink I put in my mouth. And I saved it to my phone so I could update it on the fly and just so I could see it. And I tracked every drink. The first month was January, and so I did dry January just like so many other people do. So I told myself that 1 month, no drinks, and then in February to start the 3 or fewer. My birthday's in February, so I had to figure out for myself that it was okay for me to go over on special occasions. And so I overdrank a little bit on my birthday. I overdrank on vacations and at a wedding. And it can be a really slippery slope. I was fully aware of that. I didn't want 1 week vacation drinking to turn into back to my old habits. But those times when I did drink more than 3 drinks, I was reminded why I was doing this. I would, again, worry about what I had said or done that was embarrassing. I felt like shit. Like, I can't tell you how great it feels to not have a hangover. And so those times helped me remember why I was doing what I was doing. And I also had to find some yummy non-alcoholic drinks to replace my old drinks because just drinking water wasn't cutting it. So I had to learn to find some other drinks that felt like treats, that felt special. I love a sense of occasion, but didn't have to have alcohol in them. So I was drinking like ginger beer and learned how to make some really simple mocktails and was so happily surprised to find many restaurants and bars have some amazing mocktails. And so I was able to just replace some old habits. And over time, it got easier. It got easier. 6 months in, I didn't have to track my drinks anymore because I was always sticking to 3 or fewer drinks per week. And I found healthier ways of feeling my feelings. I learned how to sit with my discomfort, and I saw my discomfort tolerance go up. There were times when something would happen, some stressor or trigger or whatever uncomfortable feeling, and I would hear it in my body say, I want to drink. And it was like this giving up. It was like if I had a drink, that meant I could walk away from the problem. And when I was soberish, I could see that. I couldn't see it before. I could see what a crutch it had become. And my discomfort tolerance went up, and I was able to feel my feelings. Shocking. And it was okay. It was good. And then, dun 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 dun, this is the crazy part. I stopped wanting to drink. I mean, what? I was shocked. I didn't want to drink anymore. And this is crazy too, I didn't even like the taste of wine or beer anymore. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, I don't like beer anymore. I swear I drank more beer than water in my 20s, you know? It also tasted like water because it was like Michelob Ultra, the Ulch. But I don't like the taste of wine or beer anymore. And I calculated that I lost at least 15 pounds from cutting back on drinks. Absolutely. Like, I did some math and I was like, is this right? I mean, when you're not drinking that many caloric drinks. Yeah, I accidentally lost at least 15 pounds. And now I'm here. I have been on this track. I have been drinking 3 or fewer drinks every week for a year and a half. And when I first started this, I wasn't ready to talk about it. I didn't know if it would stick. I don't like saying things out loud until I know they're real. Sometimes when you say something out loud, that's when it becomes real. And that felt really scary. And through these conversations with my friend that's struggling, I realized I am ready to talk about this. I am not ashamed anymore. I am happy with this progress and this change. And it's made such an amazing impact in my life. And so, rewind. Remember how I decided to do this to get out of my 5-year depression. 6 months into this, I was not depressed anymore. And, in a week, I'm celebrating a year of not being depressed. It's my not depressed anniversary. And I plan to celebrate. It is something to celebrate. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. And my whole life looks better now. My relationships are so much better. My family, we're all doing so much better. And I know a lot of that has to do with changing my relationship with alcohol. And I know all of it has to do with not being depressed anymore. So that's my story. I hope you find this helpful. I want you to feel as good as I feel. I want you to be happy. I want us all to be better. So thanks for listening. I appreciate you. And since this is not a normal episode, I'm just going to skip story time with your gal pal Sal, because I think that's what this episode was anyway. And how about I do a joy share? God, I feel like this whole episode was a joy share. Okay, I know what my joy share is. My joy share is that I went on a cute little walk this week, and the universe gifted me with a hula hoop. I learned how to hula hoop in my late 30s and love it, and have taught numerous people how to hula hoop. Everybody that thinks they can't hula hoop is doing it wrong. I think you're trying to swing your hips or go side to side. That's not it. Get yourself a hula hoop, put one foot in front of the other, spin it, and then rock forward and backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. Done. I just taught you how to hula hoop. It's literally that easy. So my joy share is that the universe gave me a free hula hoop. Let me explain. I was on this walk, and 'tis the season for people to leave things on the curb with a free sign. And I'm thrifty, babes. I am a thrifty gal. And I saw a hula hoop, and I'm like, oh my God, is that free? Because it wasn't a kid's hula hoop. It wasn't a cheap, $3 hula hoop from Walmart. We're talking adult size, custom made hula hoop. This is the real deal. I could buy a hula hoop like this for $30. But no, I got it for free because the universe said, Sal, this is for you. And so I was like, oh my gosh, is this for real? And I tested it out. I mean, try before you buy. Just kidding. I didn't buy anything. It was free. And so I'm standing in this stranger's yard, hula hooping. And the UPS guy drives up to deliver a package to this house. And the owner of the house, also owner of that UPS package, also owner of this hula hoop I'm hooping right now, opens the door. Now the UPS man and the former owner of this hula hoop see me. And the owner said, "Hey, looks like you got yourself a new hula hoop." So I walked home with my hula hoop. So if you see me in my yard hula hooping, just know the universe gave that to me. Okay. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'll be back with some more episodes. I will be talking with friends. And until next time, this is your gal pal Sal, and you're listening to Chin Hairs and F-Bombs, Conversations with Girlfriends.